right, guys, welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce. Thank you for your company this morning. I see you on Facebook already checking in with us for the day. Slavian Okuku wa Mlolongo, asante sana, you're watching. Kamau Gitari wa Tumaini as well from Yandara County. Masi wa Teacher from Nanyuki Runda Estate. Saimo wa Strawberry Ndirangu from Kinangop. I have Baba Ben from Olkalau. Eli Okongo from Homa Bay. Tom Farah tuned in from Kibera. Iman James from Mombasa. Mwangi wa Shamata from Nyeri. Charles Kafukafu Karatina. Godfred Okech from East Lee. Thank you so much to all of you engaging with us this morning. And now I'll be looking out specifically for your feedback concerning our viewpoint topic today, which is on higher education learning in Kenya. And with me on the show, I have two guests here. Now, John Orindi is the Director of Corporate Affairs at the University of Nairobi. Welcome to the show. And also Arnold Anampiu, who's a graduate of the University of Nairobi. Welcome to you as well. All right. So before we jump into, the crux of the matter here, as far as our main viewpoint topic today, I want to share something with you. Postgraduate enrollment has risen by 33%, says the Business Daily. Enrollment for postgraduate courses in public universities has rebounded and grown by 33%. Easing financial pressure on the institutions that are already struggling with strained cash flows following a dip in undergraduate student numbers and state funding. Data released by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics on Thursday shows, this would be Thursday last week, or even earlier, shows that 43,988 students are currently pursuing master's and PhD courses in the year to June, up from 32,977 learners in a similar period last year. The growth is certainly a recovery from last year, when postgraduate enrollment dipped 51%, which was the first drop in more than 15 years. So very interesting. Of course, I mean, you both having studied and been through a lot of education at this point. Arnold, what are you studying right now? Or what did you study?
I recently graduated from the University of Nairobi undergraduate program. I did quantity surveying.
Quantity surveying.
Yes.
Okay, and it's a large school.
Yeah,
You guys have a lot of students. It's the largest school.
Largest school.
Approximately how many are you?
We're having around 82,000 students
82.
enrolled across all our 500 programs at the University of Nairobi.
So that's undergrad, postgrad.
All include both undergraduate and postgraduate students.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So, hearing now that at least postgraduate enrollment, particularly, I don't know if that's something you're interested in. Are you anticipating to do a postgrad degree?
Definitely. I mean, the numbers really do speak for themselves.
Yeah,
33% just this year.
yeah.
I can't imagine how it'll be like next.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's after a significant drop, it had said, the worst drop in like 15 years. What do you think was behind that?
I think Kenyans, have realized that they need to be very competitive in the global market. And I think people who are engaged in employment are saving some little money to enhance their value in terms of education, so that they can get jobs across, not only within the market, but also across the globe.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very good kind of a trend we are witnessing. Yes. The
Yeah. And as a student there, do you feel like the sort of courses on offer are sufficient, or are there certain things that maybe you or your peers feel the university, either not just Nairobi University, but even other institutions of higher learning in Kenya, sort of need to expand their wings into looking at global trends and where jobs currently lie today?
Okay, there's a wide variety of courses. I have a younger sister actually who just did Form 4. The selection process was unreal. I just did my KCSE in 2014, and the list was almost 6 pages longer. So for sure, yes, there's an increased number of courses, and they should be aligned with the market needs,
Yeah.
especially on the humanities end.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk then about higher education learning in Kenya, because I like that you're saying you feel that the courses need to be more aligned, especially as far as humanities.
Yeah.
Why is it that you say that?
The humanities, I noticed especially with recent Form 4 leavers, most of them are opting for the STEM education, that's science, technology. The humanities, I don't think, most people would only opt for them as a second option.
Right.
And that's largely dependent on what they got in their KCSE. So for sure, there's more focus than needs on the humanities because there's very huge numbers going to the STEM.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, university education, as we've been saying, is one of the most rapidly expanding subsectors of the education sector in Kenya. And over the past few decades, the demand for higher education continues to increase. I think, across the country. And our parents are very much at the forefront of this, right? Like we expect our kids to go to college and to go to university. And there's always been that tension, from those especially who cannot afford university. We talked about book smarts versus street smarts,
Yes,
and those conversations always come up. And we're going to look at that for a little bit. But I also thought it was interesting. You guys were in the room when I was reading the news, and I thought it was very interesting about how they're saying that it's an end of an era for manual jobs, as the economy is now actually rewarding skilled workers, which in many ways seems to almost contradict all that we hear, on the ground. Like vitu kwa ground ni different, right? Watu wanasema hakuna kazi, this university degree, it's like it's not even doing that much for me. Having now working within the university, what's your response to that? And especially in light of this article, that it's like the economy is actually, the standards have risen.
I think those are the impact of technology. Technology is causing a lot of disruptions, and jobs, the market demand for jobs, particular jobs, are changing. So it's incumbent upon us, the university or training institutions also, to align the training and then review our curriculum, so that we produce manpower that are relevant to the job market.
Right.
But however, universities as they are not only training people to be job seekers, they're not only training people to get employment.
Yeah.
We train people to be better citizens. We also train people to be able to manage themselves very well. So when you go to the university, there are different particular students. We have students who wants to be business people, who wants to have innovations, study, do their research and produce some innovations. We encourage that kind of angle so that not everybody, because the demand for job market is constricting on a daily basis. But you also, those who want to get employment, they need to be equipped with relevant skills, review in tandem with the current technology. So I think as we go on, we'll be required as universities to adopt new technologies like artificial intelligence that's going to dictate what's produced in the market.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for you, Arnold, I mean, hearing about how technology is causing all of these disruptions, do you feel that your course, your studies, and the way that your courses have been conducted has really prepared you then for the job market?
Oh, definitely. Majority of the processes in the university are online, whether it's requesting for your student ID, your fee statement, majority, and especially even in the academic side, notes, research project, it's almost unthinkable to not need a laptop in university. So for sure, technology it's non-negotiable in campus.
Yeah.
And it's made life easier.
Yeah.
And I thank God for it.
Yeah. I know the big guy is here, but honestly speaking, what has been your experience then as a student, besides the technology? Is this, beyond it being the specific university, but just the whole process of studying there, is that something you would recommend to other young guys, especially those who are really questioning if at all university is something they even need?
Oh, I would definitely recommend higher learning at the university level. I think what really sells university is the diversity of character, the diversity of thought amongst peers and professors, the staff. It's an amazing environment. You learn so much in class, you learn a lot more outside. Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to have a good university experience.
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay. Okay. And so University of Nairobi, as we've already stated, probably the largest. It is the largest university in. Is it Kenya or just East and Central Africa as well?
It's the largest and also the highly ranked in terms of academic performance in the region.
So tell me about that. How do you guys conduct that ranking?
Ranking, there are various ranking institutions or organizations globally. And the most popular ones I would mention are the Webometrics and the Times Higher Education ranking model. They use various parameters to rank the universities. Universities have a mandate to accomplish to the society. So those are some of the parameters they use. One of the parameters they use is look at the visibility of the university. Visibility in terms of is the university open to the society? Does the university contribute? The knowledge that the university generates, does it get used by the society? That's one parameter. Then we also have other parameters like the impact, because we do a lot of research outputs, we do a lot of innovations. How is the applications of the knowledge and research that we do being consumed by the industry, by the society that we do?
Yeah.
Then we also have what we call citation parameter, among other parameters. Citation is where you have scholars, we have scholars who do research on various specialities. So how is your scholars positioned globally in line with other scholars, the most revered? How are they cited? How is their work cited? Yeah, so with the University of Nairobi, we are blessed to have a good number of scholars who are globally recognized, and they are cited and their work are recognized. So that's one of the things that contributes to our ranking.
Okay.
And then also the innovations. What type of innovations is the university producing? Do you register patents? And how many innovations do you convert? Do you commercialize? So those are among the many parameters that they look at. And that's why we have consistently been ranked top 10 in Africa,
Yeah.
and also among the third top 3% globally among the over 30,000 universities globally.
That's quite an achievement.
Yes.
Okay. And in your take then, what is the University of Nairobi doing to ensure that what it's training and impacting its students with actually matches what is being looked for in the job market?
Well, we have established good linkages with the industry and partners which are across the globe, and also we are networked with other research institutions and other universities, so that our academicians and our students are able to get experience from the industry, and also go to other universities and also to share experience with other students from the university.
Yeah.
We expose them through exchange programs to other universities. They share, actually, when students meet their peers from best universities, they also get inspired, and they also share the knowledge, they get more experience.
Okay.
And the same to academicians. When we have academic exchanges, we get lecturers from University of going to South African universities, going to Europe, going to China for their sabbatical to do research, work with their colleagues in the faculty there. We also bring adjunct lecturers from the industry, like here. If we say the School of Media, we can have people from the media coming to impact on our students in media studies, because we have the practical experience.
Okay.
And then we also have internships, students coming to the industry, get internship opportunities and learn the job practically. So those are the kind of things that add value to the graduate that we produce.
All right.
Yes.
Arnold, presumably you looked at a few different schools before settling on this one, perhaps. What is it then that made this your choice, University of Nairobi your choice? What were you looking for in a university, and what did you find unique about this particular choice?
Okay, my first angle was at the course offered by the university. It's also offered in JKUAT, and I'm not sure whether in KU or Technical University, but I opted for the University of Nairobi because it has a very extensive staff of lecturers who are they're known in the industry, and I think they're the best, honestly.
Okay.
I don't think I'd be best.
Okay, so you had actually looked at other universities as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Arnold, it was really nice to meet you. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. We're going to be taking a short break. Mr. John Oindi is going to be back with me, but someone else will be coming to take Arnold's place here. But it was a pleasure having you on Full Circle with Joyce. Thank you so much for that. Coming up next, I'll have John Orindi and Kenneth Sawe, who's the Executive Director of the University of Nairobi's Alumni Association. That's all coming up next. This is Full Circle with Joyce. Stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce. Thank you again for your company. I do appreciate your time. And I'm here with my guests from the University of Nairobi. I have John Orindi, who's the Director of Corporate Affairs, joining us again this segment. And now joined by Kenneth Sawe, who's the Executive Director of the University of Nairobi Alumni Association. Welcome to the show.
Thank
and
you.
welcome back
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you.
Now, we're talking about higher education learning here in Kenya. And as I did read that news story, certainly it seems that there is a shift, even as the economy is readjusting itself. I know a lot of people have lost jobs this year. Plenty of others have gone into entrepreneurship. And so that tension between, do I need to go to college or do I just, become book smart and street smart rather and just hustle it out and make it on my own? Kenneth, you, of course, were a student at University of Nairobi. What did you study?
Communication.
Communication.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't know how long ago that was, but for those who are really battling with that, because I get a lot of viewers who are really struggling with that question.
Yeah.
Maybe finances have been an issue, and so once they can't get their way into university, they feel like they don't have an option. But for you, what would you say has been sort of the biggest benefit of attending this, or being a student at university?
I think the University of Nairobi, over the years, has been supporting their students in many ways. And the association has been playing a very, very critical role in supporting, especially on the financial issues. One is the bursary fund. Over the years, the association has been supporting the university students through the bursary fund. Every year, it gives a check of 2 million shillings to support the needy students. And over the last 9 years or so, they have given over 21 million shillings specifically to support the needy students in the University of Nairobi. And this year, in 2020, the association again has set aside money to start up a scholarship fund that will be specifically targeting the needy students in the university. So the University of Nairobi has been trying as much as possible to support those needy students, especially from the poor background, so that they're able to achieve their goals in life.
Right.
Yes.
And when you reflect back on your experience as a student, what do you think what was your biggest takeaway having been a student at the University of Nairobi?
Okay, things like the programs that are there, the mentorship programs, the coaching programs that are set up by the administration, the way in which there's that touch between the lecturer and their students, the exchange programs as the way Mr. Orindi has talked about, and also the exposure. I think Mr. Orindi will talk about how they bring the industry players to the universities to engage the students. Yes.
Yeah, and you've touched on that a bit actually with, looking at media and whatnot.
Yeah, I just want to add on what you just said. Apart from that, the alumni scholarship, we have many scholarship funds that we give to our students. We have engaged various donors to support students who are bright, so that students who are bright and fortunate do not go back home to not drop out of their schools.
Yeah.
We have people like Ratanzi Foundation Trust who sponsor many students across all universities. We have scholarship from partners like DAD, German foundations. We have scholarship from Rotary Club. We have scholarships from many other partners, Equity, and many other foundations that we are trying to get in. So in total, when we pull up these resources, our students get room to focus on their studies without interruptions. So that's one advantage a student would get if you come to the University of Nairobi.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that our alumni want to make a greater contribution and impact in students by establishing a scholarship fund that will enable students even to get loans and and bursaries to continue their studies.
So obviously this opportunity to be able to give back to, incoming students or current students after you've graduated is a great thing. But a lot of people would then ask, okay, why else should I join an alumni association? What would be the benefits of that?
Yeah, there are several benefits of being a member of the association. There's a difference because someone might have graduated from the university, but you need to take another step of joining the association. And just in a summary, there are some categories of membership of the association. One, there's the life membership, and it has 3 categories. There's the gold membership, silver membership, and bronze membership, which they pay some little money to be part of that association. For gold members pay 100,000, silver members pay 50,000, and bronze members pay 25,000
per year.
But no, that is once in your lifetime. But we have now the new graduates who've just graduated. There's a category called the annual membership, where they just pay 2,000 shillings, but they have to keep renewing every year until they can now graduate to the life membership. There are a variety of benefits of being a member of the association, because once someone has graduated from the university, of course you clear and you leave your ID and now move on with your life. But if you join the association, you're able to come back and be able to use the facilities within the university. One is the library. You'll find that most of our graduates, once they leave the university, they're still doing their own research out there. Once you become a member of the association, a registered member, you are able to come back and use those facilities. You're able to use the library, you're able to use some of the recreational facilities within the university, and those are because the association has worked together with the university to give those benefits to the alumni. Another benefit is the alumni card. We have an alumni card that we've partnered with Charleston Travel, where alumni with that card are able to get discounts in over 150 outlets, both in Nairobi, Mombasa, and we're also expanding to the other towns. Another benefit is that there are many University of Nairobi events that we usually have. We have public lectures, we have career talks, we have distinguished scholars coming to speak to the university community. Once you're a member of the association, you get an opportunity to come for those events. And of course the reunions, we usually have several reunions. We usually have the chapter launches, we usually have classes coming together to have meetings. Recently we had the School of Media, School of Journalism alumni chapter. They had a media forum with the Transparency International, and they were able to invite the alumni and also some of the students just to engage on the issues of corruption and the issues of what media is doing to fight corruption in this country. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So then even before one then becomes an alumni, there's the process of even just getting into university. Here, of course, you're already seeing the number of candidates that hopefully you'll be preparing for in about 4 years. We had 1 million KCPE candidates.
Yes.
Hopefully in about 4 years, all 1 million of them will be coming into university. So even just, I think, admission-wise, competition is getting tougher. So what criteria then do you use as far as admission of students?
We are open to students. Our courses, we have more than 500 programs. And what we do, students are able to check our programs that we offer on online, www.unobi.ac.ke. Once you can go through the program, you check which one meets your qualifications, which one you want to. Some may decide you want to pursue a particular course that you are passionate about. And then if you are satisfied, you meet the criteria, then you make an application via application.uonbi.ac.ke. And then we will process the application online, and also you pay your fees online. We are open throughout. Our online portal is open throughout the year, so you can actually have the luxury of choosing when to start after securing your admission. I want to make a statement here. Recently there was a misreporting in one of the media houses that University of Nairobi has stopped admitting parallel degree programs.
Yes.
We have not. We cannot stop admitting parallel degree programs.
So why did that story come out like that?
The story, I think, was in misinterpretation of a restructuring process that was being done in the unit, administrative unit that deals with parallel students.
Okay.
Now, what we did was to merge the units that initially we had a center that used to handle only parallel degree programs and a center that used to manage government-sponsored students. So we merged the two functions as a good management practice,
Right.
to enhance efficiency and also to cut cost.
Okay.
And I think some people thought
Okay.
that
So it's the
interpreted
office that has merged. It's not
is
that the
the
program
offices,
is
the
stopping.
programs.
Yes, because a lot of us were quite puzzled. Like
No.
that would be a significant loss of, good
we
income
are,
that could
we
go
are
to
still in
serve.
business, and we
Yeah.
encourage people to enroll. We are going to give them the opportunity, and we are also investing in virtual technology so that students who are busy like you here can be able also to get our quality education from the University of Nairobi and its partners through our Odell campus,
Yeah.
open and distance
Right.
e-learning campus.
Okay.
So we are offering more variety, and we encourage people to make the University of Nairobi the university of choice.
All right.
Yes.
Well, Ken, it's been a really tough year. A lot of people have actually lost their jobs. Many others have really been struggling to get into employment. We're hearing the market has been shrinking in some ways. And those who are finding jobs, like your skill now has to be even higher, according to a report here on The Standard. And in fact, another World Bank report is showing that Kenya is suffering from a misallocation of talent, with highly skilled people in the unproductive informal sector or subsistence farming. So, when you look back at alumni, because I'm sure you interact with a lot of them, how would you say that they're honestly doing, at this point? Of course, the economy has been really tough. How would you say that your alumni are doing sort of in the wake of the challenges that the economy is going through and all of this restructuring?
Thank you. I think there's so much our alumni are doing, and one thing I love about our alumni is that we are diverse. They are so diverse. We have alumni who are in business. We have many alumni who are in employment, and we also have alumni who are in the innovation space. In fact, the University of Nairobi is working closely with the innovative hubs like NILAB is working with Huawei, working with Techno, and working with these organizations, we're able to see that they are looking at the future of work.
Right.
In fact, even our current students are being taught on what are these jobs that will be redundant in the next few years, and what are these jobs that you can now plan for.
Very important.
Another thing that we appreciate is that our alumni are coming back to the university to mentor our students. They are coming to guide them on what is happening in the job market. And the job market is becoming very, very dynamic over the years. And one thing that we encourage students is that, even if you are doing, for example, your degree in economics, ensure that you have some other thing you are doing on the side. So that once you graduate, in case the economics takes time to pick, you have something else to do. And you'll find most of our students, someone is doing even something like statistics, but on the side is a graphic designer. Sometimes you find a student is doing education, but on part-time is doing online writing. So we are trying to encourage our students that don't just prepare for what you're just studying right now.
Don't be like a one-track
Yes,
person.
yes,
Be
yes.
dynamic.
Be dynamic, be engaged, network, so that you're able to prepare yourself for the world outside.
Okay, very
Yes.
good advice there for all of us, I think. And finally then, as we wrap up, Mr. Orindi, he's talked about the future of work and how the university is trying to prepare its students for that. What would you say then is the future of universities and higher education learning, particularly here in Kenya?
Universities still have a critical role to play in the future of work, because through innovations, through research, like the country we are in today, we are facing a lot of challenges in terms of economic development. We are trying to catch up in terms of technology. There are a lot of problems in terms of food security, health, all these other things. For us as a university, that's an opportunity. We are not looking at them as problems. That's an opportunity for us to do some innovations, solve these problems, so that we get, that's where we can get our relevance and also get more resources. Right. So we, as long as the society is having a lot of challenges, we are still relevant, and we're going to keep that space so that we solve their problems.
All right.
Because that's why universities are created.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Mr. John Orindi, Director Corporate Affairs, University of Nairobi. I've also had here Kenneth Sawe, Executive Director of the University of Nairobi Alumni Association. And earlier I had with me Arnold Anampiu, who's a graduate of the undergrad program at University of Nairobi. Thank you all so much for your time and your company this morning, talking about higher education learning in Kenya. if anything, hopefully that conversation leaves you thinking that, you know what, there's never, you never know enough. There's always an opportunity to learn something new. And so yes, be street smart, but you should also pick up a book and be book smart as well.